Let's get to the debate. What do you think that, do you have any thoughts on it? What do you think Paul Ryan needs to do?
Paul Ryan is going to lie his ass off tonight.
Do you think Joe's going to call him on it?
I hope he does. But here's why I say that. Because he has already preemptively gone out and said, oh, they're going to call me a liar. They're going to call me a liar. They're going to call me a liar because they don't have any real rebuttals. They're going to accuse me of lying. So, I mean, that's a very clear signal to all of his supporters to just go out and tell everyone tomorrow, no matter what happens tonight, oh yes, Paul Ryan did not lie. We knew this was going to happen all along. The left is going to call him a liar because he's a liar. He will lie.
That's and the press, as we've talked about before on the show, just won't call somebody a liar who's lying. And my theory on that is because if they actually start to use the word lie and you're a liar, it'll never end. When do they stop saying it? Because they can start all from the beginning when they start to get up in the morning because they're lying all the time. What do you say, Richard?
I say that the press tends to use the word, if they use the term at all, factually inaccurate.
Yes.
But I don't even think they'll do that in this case. I mean, I think that there is a rule, we've gotten so far down the road of he said, she said, that they're going to say Democrats claim that Mr. Ryan's claims were inaccurate. And, by the time, in the third paragraph, if they're lucky in some Politicheck or whatever that thing is called, PolitiFact, they'll say, and evidence tends. Have you ever tried to read PolitiFact or any of these things? You can't, if you read them from the point of view of an ordinary person, it's like, this is like reading, my tax return. It's like, by the time you get to, is it true or not true, you don't know, and it's unreadable and it's boring. So yes, I think Ryan will laugh his ass off, and I think nobody will really call him on it, and Joe will be Joe.
Also, what frustrates me more than anything else is this implication that every lie is worth 1 point. So Democrats lied once, Republicans lied once, so now it's even. It's not even. It depends on the lie and the magnitude of the lie. So, for example, Paul Ryan lied or misremembered his time in his marathon. That doesn't matter to me. Okay, I don't care about that lie. What matters to me a lot more are his allegations regarding, his budget proposals and his ridiculous lie that Barack Obama was going to cut $700 million or $1 billion from Medicare, and make it seem like Obama is going to destroy Medicare as you know it, when it's the complete opposite. Well, when he's the one in his budget that cuts the $700 billion and gives that away as tax cuts, Obama's going to put that back into the healthcare system in other ways. So that is a massive lie, a substantive lie that matters. And the media can't just say, well, they lie, everyone lies, so let's all call it even. That's
the evil genius of modern politics was Lee Atwater. And when Lee Atwater helped George Bush Sr. got elected in 1988, and George Bush Sr. lied his ass off in the debate, Atwater said, so what? He said, 40 million people saw the statement, 400 people will read the clarification tomorrow. That's the approach.
And that's how Mitt Romney has been running this whole campaign. Right. In fact, they've already said we're not going to let our campaign be run by fact checkers. So, and I think that who should be embarrassed here, but they're not going to be, is the mainstream media. The Brian Williams, the George Snuffleupaguses, the Tom Brokaws. They're not going to be. They're not embarrassed. They're never ashamed. They're never embarrassed. They weren't embarrassed about missing the Iraq War. They weren't embarrassed about missing the banking meltdown. They weren't embarrassed about mixing the mortgage meltdown. They're not embarrassed. They miss it all the time. They're not going to get the fact that they called out Paul Ryan at all after the RNC thing was a fluke. I think.
You know why they're not embarrassed? Because they all go to the same party.
They all go to the same. That's why this is crazy.
To loop it right around.
This Martha Raddatz thing.
They go to the exact same parties, and the other storyline that I can't wait for is tomorrow when they talk about Biden's alleged gaffes. Because the media fixates on certain things, and for example, in 2000, the storyline somehow was that Al Gore was this wooden, and also that he was this pathological liar, and that he lied about how he invented the internet. He never said that. He said he helped create the internet, which is absolutely true. Right. Because he's the one who led the Senate funding for
Yes.
for the internet. But then they twist one word and then they make a mockery of him.
No, wouldn't you say? Now that is correct. They did do that, but and Paul Ryan does mislead people about what Barack Obama is doing with the $716 billion that they're taking from Medicare. But isn't it up to the Democrats? Isn't it up to Barack Obama to make that case clearly so people understand it? He had his chance the other night and he didn't do it. Like, people are upset that Barack Obama didn't give a good performance. They didn't, but he didn't come back at Mitt Romney. Okay, he didn't want to do that. He didn't want to look like an angry black man. But the thing he didn't do that he should have done was make his own case for his own positions and the things that he has accomplished, and he didn't even do that. So that's what I think people were really upset about, and that's why he lost that debate.
Look, I mean, you're absolutely right. If I'm a Republican, I would lie because no one calls me out on it.
No one's going to call.
You know what
the
I would
media
do?
doesn't call me out on it, and the Democrats don't call me out. I would just lie.
You know what I would do if I were Biden or Obama in one of these debates and I didn't want to appear too angry? I'd turn right to the camera and I'd say, I don't know what to do here, people, because everything this guy says is a lie. I don't want to come across like a jerk. So go to my website tomorrow and we'll straighten it all out. Just do that. Just talk to people like people. They never do that.
Well, I think what he needs to do in order for Barack Obama, Joe Biden, I think, can go toe to toe with this Paul Ryan, because Paul Ryan's people say he's likable. I think he's unlikable. Whenever he gets into a place somebody confronts him with a real question, he looks like a jerk.
He's like a car salesman to me.
Exactly.
I mean, aside from his appearance, although I guess we
I'm
have
talking about his demeanor.
Yeah,
Yes, his demeanor.
I guess we have some sexy pictures of him somewhere.
Do you want to see that?
Can we see those?
JR?
Do we have them?
So here's our man working out, right? Because he had some ice cream yesterday, and he had.
I'm-
Oh, there you go.
I'm too sexy for my shirt. Too
Good. Let's see the next one.
Oh my God!
What are we?
Oh my God!
This
That's embarrassing.
It's Dobie Gillis, ladies and gentlemen.
Dobie Gillis meets, I don't know. Dobie Gillis does hip hop. That's what this is. This is.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, and you know what that says? That says I'm afraid to die. I'm trying to stay young. I don't want to die. I don't want to die.
You know
I'm really
what it also
afraid.
says? I got a lot of time on my hands to work out because I don't have to learn the facts.
Well, look, okay, getting serious for a moment, I'm very frustrated with the media and the way we treat Paul Ryan as if he's a serious candidate. He's given some sort of halo effect where he is deemed wonkish and smart, a serious player, but he's not. He's an absolute freaking clown who has filled his head with something that he read a long time ago from Ayn Rand, and he thinks that's how the world works. And anyone who reads one single book or one author thinks that's how life should be is a clown. Life is complex, it's difficult, things change, and every situation is different. You have to learn to adjust for the times. He doesn't do that. And the problem that I have with Ryan is that he actually sounds smart in the sense that he talks, he looks so earnest, and he pretends he's filled with math and facts, but he's actually a complete idiot. Okay, his budget makes no sense, none whatsoever. And anyone who purports to care about the deficit yet won't touch defense, look, you can't talk about the deficit if you refuse to touch defense. You have to just shut your mouth.
Well, everybody, see, they say that he's beloved in the Beltway because he's this tough policy guy. He's this wonk, and he's willing to make.
This guy has never had a real job. Okay, he has been sucking off.
Let me just jump in here for a second because I can explain this phenomenon. Seriously, he puts it on a PowerPoint. You can say any bullshit in the world, you put it on a PowerPoint. Lazy reporters and lazy politicians will say, oh, it must be real. There's like a chart. And so I'd always said, like when everybody was making fun of Mitt Romney a couple weeks ago for saying jet airplane windows ought to open, if he had put that on a PowerPoint, they would have said, that's a serious policy proposal. Why not make the plane a convertible?
Well, that's true, but
seriously, I'm serious about that.
I just want to make the point that we have Paul Ryan, who has never had a job in the private sector. This guy has sucked off the government teat his whole adult life,
and collected Social Security when his dad died.
And this is the same guy who's going to purport to drive our private sector and create jobs in the private sector. It's the same guy who pretends that he's going to cut the deficit while not touching defense at all, not a penny, despite the massive increases since 2004 when we're fighting 2 wars. Our defense budget now is bigger than it was back then, and yet we can't touch that. Well, I mean, this guy, he's not a serious candidate.
Oh, they do touch it. They kick it way up.
Yeah, it goes the other way.
They touch it big time.
What Paul Ryan gets credit for is his willingness to say out in public that I'm going to cut Social Security and Medicare, right? And that was in his budget, and that's what people give him all this credit for, right? Like, that's courageous. That doesn't go, that plays to your base. Your base, what would be courageous if he said, I'm going to cut defense spending and I'm going to put the tax rates back up to where they were before the Bush? That would be courageous, but nobody else ever says that. You're only courageous if you screw over Social Security and Medicare. That's the only courage that will be recognized by corporate media.
This is what is so insane about Washington. It's the only place on the planet or in human history where people will call you courageous if you want to basically beat up old ladies by taking away their food and medical care. That's a brave guy.
He says, you teach
the dead end kids would have been brave in Washington for stealing old ladies' purses. It's insane.
He quotes. He likes to.
You don't
quote
know who the dead end kids are.
That Bible verse of you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Teach somebody how to fish, and you feed them for a life. Yeah, but I don't think that when Jesus said that, he was saying, teach a 76-year-old man how to fish or to deliver his own medical care. That's not, so it's a kind of a bullshit thing. And he says his budget is based on his Catholic background informs his budget, right? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Joe Biden also a Catholic. Mm-hmm. So the Catholic nuns have created a bus tour because his budget is so anti-Catholic. It so balances the budget on the back of the people who are the most vulnerable, the poor and the needy, which the Catholics actually still say they should look out for. Not only the Catholic nuns are speaking to her. Think about that. Catholic nuns have chosen to shut up and let the guys do the talking as a lifestyle choice, yet they're going to go out there and that's how un-Catholic this budget is. And I want to see if Joe...
Have any of them offered to wrap Paul Ryan's knuckles? Because they should.
They should.
Well,
but I think it will be ironic to see Paul Ryan's Catholicism become an issue, and Joe Biden is in a unique position to make that case, whereas Mitt Romney's Mormonism hasn't been brought up one time.
Yeah, well, look, okay, so the last thing before we wrap up, tonight I predict that that Ryan will say the word revenue neutral 87 times regarding his budget. All the tax cuts, revenue neutral. How are you going to pay it for it? How are you going to make it up? It's revenue neutral. I'd love to do the math for you, but it's too complex.
Too complex.
Yeah. So he'll say that, and then I hope Biden hits him hard on this bullshit nonsense budget. And I hope he hits him hard on Ryan's hideous record on reproductive rights and
well, here's what he's going to say about the reproductive rights. Paul Ryan will say, I'm very proud of my pro-life record in Congress, but right now I'm on the Mitt Romney ticket, and I support his view on abortion. And so what Joe Biden should say to that, because that's his standard stump speech, is I'm very proud of my pro-life record, but now I'm on the Romney ticket, is Joe Biden should say, do you see what he's proud of? He's proud of punishing victims of rape and incest. He's proud of referring to rape as legitimate and non-legitimate. That's what he's proud of. Whether Joe Biden will say that, I don't know, but I think
there's no way he's not say that.
That is
we're getting around.
We're
getting around to the word that wasn't said in the first debate and should have been, which was women.
Yeah.
Why aren't these guys hammering the Republican ticket for the way they treat women? I hope Joe goes after that tonight.
Well, here's the one last point I'd like to make on the stuff that the Democrats are not bringing up. Mitt Romney likes to say that marriage, because Barack Obama's in favor of gay marriage, finally. So he likes to say, Mitt Romney, that, I define marriage the way it's been defined for thousands of years. Well, that you mean between your grandpa and a bunch of other women? Because that's how his grandfather defined it.
Right, I know.
So it's not the way it's been defined. He's saying, you're redefining marriage. Your grandfather defined it a different way, Mitt, and I bet you they'll never bring that up. And if they lose, it's because of all these missed opportunities.